The Little Beggar Boy. Chapter 1. Cold Streets of New York. In the heart of New York City, under the glowing lights and towering buildings, lived a little boy named Eli. He was only 9 years old, but he had no home, no parents, and no place to go. Every evening, Eli sat near the subway station in Manhattan, holding a cardboard sign that read, "I'm hungry. Please help." People passed by in coats and boots. Some glanced at him with pity. Some ignored him. A few gave him $1 or a sandwich. That was how Eli survived. He slept on the cold pavement behind a bakery. At night, he curled up under an old blanket with holes in it, trying to stay warm. His stomach often growled. His clothes were dirty and thin. But Eli never complained. Chapter 2. Memories of a Lost Life. Eli wasn't always on the street. Just 2 years ago, he had a family, a small apartment in Brooklyn, a mother who made pancakes, and a father who read bedtime stories. But everything changed when a fire destroyed their home. His mother died in the fire. His father disappeared soon after, unable to cope with the loss. Eli was taken to a foster home, but the other kids bullied him. One night, he ran away. He thought he could find his dad. He never did. The city swallowed him. The streets became his new world. Chapter 3. A Friend in the Shadows. One day, while Eli sat outside a coffee shop, a tall man with a scruffy beard and gentle eyes stopped in front of him. He wore an army jacket and had a dog beside him. "You alone, kid?" the man asked. Eli nodded, scared. "My name's Hank. This here's Daisy," he said, pointing to the dog. "You hungry?" Eli nodded again. Hank gave him half of his sandwich. "There's enough for both of us." From that day on, Hank became Eli's protector. They stayed together, sleeping near a warm subway vent. Daisy cuddled close to Eli at night. He finally felt safe. Chapter 4. Hope in a Coffee Cup. On a snowy December morning, Eli sat outside the same coffee shop, shivering. A woman in a red coat bought a hot cocoa and handed it to him. "Here, sweetheart," she said. "Thank you," Eli whispered. The woman looked kind. She had curly brown hair and glasses. "What's your name?" "Eli." "Where's your family?" "I don't have one," he replied. Her eyes filled with tears. She came back the next day, and the next. Her name was Rebecca. She was a school teacher who lived nearby. She started bringing Eli food, socks, gloves. She even brought a scarf with tiny stars on it. Chapter 5. Trust Takes Time. Rebecca wanted to help Eli more. She told him about shelters and programs for children. But Eli was scared. He had run from foster care before. He didn't want to go back. "I trust Hank," he said, "and Daisy." "I understand," Rebecca said softly. "But you deserve more, Eli. You deserve a bed, warm meals, school, a chance." Eli didn't say anything, but that night, he thought about her words. He missed sleeping in a bed. He missed school. He missed feeling like a child. Chapter 6. The Shelter. After a bad storm soaked all his clothes, Eli finally agreed to go with Rebecca to a shelter for homeless children. It was a clean, warm building with bunk beds, colorful walls, and friendly staff. At first, Eli stayed silent. He watched other kids play and eat. He kept Daisy's red ribbon in his pocket as a memory. Rebecca visited him often. So did Hank. Slowly, Eli smiled again. One night, He whispered to Rebecca, "I want to go to school." She held his hand. "You will." Chapter 7. The First Day of School. Eli's first day of school was scary. He wore donated clothes and carried a new backpack. He sat in the back row, quiet and nervous. Kids stared. Some whispered. But then a boy named Miles sat beside him and said, "Cool sneakers." They weren't new, but they were clean. Eli smiled. The teacher, Mr. Jacobs, noticed Eli was smart. He read quickly, solved math problems, and asked deep questions. "Where did you learn all this?" Mr. Jacobs asked. "From life," Eli said. Chapter 8. The Healing. Months passed. Eli got better at school. He made friends. He laughed. But he never forgot the streets. He wrote in a journal Rebecca gave him. Every page told a story, from hunger to hope. One day he wrote, "I was invisible once, but someone saw me." He kept Daisy's ribbon on his desk. He visited Hank every weekend. Hank got a small apartment thanks to a veteran program. He was clean now, even working part-time. "I'm proud of you, kid," Hank said one day. "I learned from you," Eli replied. Chapter 9. Speaking for the Voiceless. When Eli turned 12, he gave a speech at a city event for youth shelters. He stood in front of a crowd, his voice shaking. "I was a little beggar boy. People passed me every day, but one woman stopped. She gave me more than food. She gave me hope." Rebecca wiped her tears in the crowd. Eli continued, "There are many more like me out there. Look for them. Help them, because a little help can change everything." The crowd stood and clapped. Eli had found his voice. Chapter 10. Full Circle. Years later, Eli became a social worker. He worked with homeless children, ran youth shelters, and started a group called Street Stars. He never forgot his past. He carried the old cardboard sign and Daisy's ribbon in a frame on his office wall. One cold evening, he found a small boy sitting on the same steps where he once sat. Eli bent down and said, "What's your name, buddy?" The boy whispered, "Josh." "You hungry?" The boy nodded. Eli handed him a sandwich and smiled. "Let's get you warm." And just like that, the circle continued, with kindness, love, and the courage to care.